How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and today we got to talk about the terror attack against Christians in Sri Lanka. Sri Lanka is an island nation to the south of India. This attack targeted churches and hotels right during early Sunday morning Easter service. Now, you had up to 300 people that have died and 500 more that have been injured by these targeted attacks. Bombings in churches. The local authorities said they found like 87 detonators. They were defusing other bombs. So this could have been much worse. They found bombs by airports. This was a clear attack against Christians, and it was organized not only on a local level, but also probably on an international level. The Sri Lankan authorities have said that a local group, a radical Islamic group called NTJ, is responsible for this, but they suspect they've had, like I said, outside help, because to have such a coordinated attack on different churches all over the nation, airports, everywhere, it'll require a lot of help that this local group probably did not have. Sri Lanka is an island nation to the south of India. It's majority Buddhist. You have a small Christian population and probably an equally small or smaller Muslim population. So you had to have had some outside help. But for now, I digress. Let's get to the reaction from this. And it's pretty shameful. You know, I understand people don't want to be political with it because, you know, people have died, loved ones are grieving, and rest in peace to all those that have died. And my prayers go out to their families. But we got to talk about what's really going on and address the elephant in the room, not try to hide it and sweep it under the rug. People like Barack Obama, Hillary Clinton, and others have called the Christians that were attacked and died Easter worshipers. Now, I've never heard of a person being labeled as an Easter worshiper ever. I mean, you might go back to the early days where it was this pagan thing. But today, right now, when you go to church on Easter Sunday as a Christian, as a Catholic in this case, you're not worshiping Easter. You're celebrating Easter. You're celebrating the resurrection of Jesus. I thought that's what it's supposed to be. You're not worshiping Easter. This whole usage of the term Easter worshipers is to avoid saying Christians, because you can't say that. You can't talk about attacks against Christians because then you become Islamophobic. Because let's not forget, like I said in the beginning, this attack was carried out by radical Islamists, a group that's been in Sri Lanka for a while, a group that has warned the local authorities and other people about this attack for a while, a group that has attacked Buddhist places before. They've defaced monuments. So this ain't a group that is just unknown. And we've seen other Muslim or Christian attacks. Recently, we saw one in the Philippines, Nigeria, a little bit of everywhere. This is not an abnormal thing. I think within the past couple of years, out of the major attacks that have happened, let's say 6 that's happened. I'll place a graphic on the screen before you just to kind of guide you along. 4 of those have been against Christians, against churches. 1 has been against a synagogue and 1 has been against a mosque. But all we hear about is Islamophobia, racism, this, that, and a third. When it came to New Zealand, right away it was, oh, this is Islamophobia, this is racism, Trump did this, et cetera, et cetera. Even though the guy that was involved, the guy that did the attack, said that he hated conservatives, okay? Even though he said that, it was still blamed on conservatives. It's really weird. And the synagogue attack, you know, it's also blamed on racism. It's anti-Semitism, what is that, and the third. Okay, so if you're going to say racism, if you're going to say Islamophobia, if you're going to say anti-Semitism, then why not say that same thing in this particular case? Oh, because they're Christian. You don't want to say that when talking about Nigerians or the Philippines or anywhere else. You just say it when it relates to people that are not Christian. And it's weird because these people, for the most part, weren't white. So even though most people see Christianity as a so-called white religion, the people that are generally attacked in these really big terror situations aren't even white. So it doesn't make any sense. The whole thing is that people, just regular everyday person that's not really politically savvy, who is on the left, will view any mentioning of Islamic terror as racism. It makes zero sense, none whatsoever, because like I said, the people that were attacked here were mostly not even white. Most people that get attacked because of Christianity are not even white. Christianity is the biggest religion on earth. I think maybe they're right neck and neck with Islam. You're talking about over 1 billion people for each religion. So this is not just a small minority of people, and it's not an isolated incident. Christians have been attacked for quite a while now. This is not anything new. So as I close, I want to say this. They are not Easter worshipers. They are Christians. They are Catholics. Don't be afraid to say it. The whole thing about, oh, I don't want to, attack Muslims. Matter of fact, I've seen people on Twitter, a lot of these blue check people talking about, if you say that the attack in Sri Lanka was done by radical Islamists, then you're an Islamophobe. How does that make any sense? We're saying what actually happened. The government in Sri Lanka is saying they did it. The Islamic group themselves had warned about doing it before. So there's evidence. The authorities there are saying it. Why can't I tell the truth? Now, one more thing. Trump himself responded to the situation in Sri Lanka. He didn't say Easter worshipers. He didn't say Christians either. He was talking about the attacks being against the churches and the hotels. Now, some may say, oh, he's not going far enough. He should have said Christians, but he did say churches. These people, these celebrities, these former presidents or whatever online talking about Easter worshipers can't say churches or Christians. If you say church, that means Christian. If you say Christian, that means Christian. Easter worshiper, what is that? I don't know. It's a way to be politically correct, to not offend people in a time where being politically correct is not even needed. Just tell the truth. Be honest. So what do you think? Do you think this whole thing about Easter worshipers is a coordinated thing? I think it was. I think it was like one person or one agency that writes all these tweets for all these people. During a time like this especially, you want to have a message that is not offensive to anybody, that at the same time recognizes what happens. It looks like one person wrote each of the messages and just changed out certain words to make it appear to be different. That's what's going on in my humble opinion. But they had marching orders, probably from the DNC itself. Don't mention Christianity. Don't mention churches. Don't mention anything like that, because if you do, then you're going to offend the Muslims. When it came to Christ Church, they had no issue talking about Islamophobia, Muslims, none of that. When it came to the synagogue attack, nobody had any issues talking about anti-Semitism, racism, and all that. But when it comes to Christians, it's a whole different story. So whatever your comments are, please let me know in the comments below. And that's all I got to say for this video. If you like what you heard, please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. Peace.